Well, it's November 7th, 2020. Time for Stories with Stu. I'm back here at my little cabin. I got a farm pond. It's very, very peaceful. The climate is just perfect. The weather has been beautiful today. I've been working this morning, and this week was election week, and we used to say election day, but this year was quite a bit different. And of course, 2020 has been different. And we still don't know for sure. The Joe Biden has claimed victory, but Donald Trump has claimed fraud. And that brings a certain amount of anxiety, sadness to those of us who are of age. I'll be 59 tomorrow, and I don't remember of being in a country like this. We're so very deeply, deeply divided. And we know that the Bible says, and then Abraham Lincoln quoted, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. So we know that we're headed in the wrong direction. And when people are headed in the wrong direction and they don't turn around, they get to the wrong place. And so as a country, many of us feel like we're headed in the wrong direction, and there isn't any sign of it turning around. So where do we find our hope? Where do we find our courage? The only place I know is in the Lord. Hebrews 12, I believe it's 29, verse 29 says, everything that can be shaken will be shaken on earth and in heaven. And the only thing that will not be shaken is the unshakable, which the only thing that's unshakable that I know of is Jesus Christ and God Himself. And so as we look at it from God's standpoint, His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. I believe that God is in the saving business. He wants to save everybody. The Bible says He has no pleasure in the death of the wicked. And so if everything is shaken, on earth would mean the financial, the political, the social, and our health. And in heaven could mean the religions. And, it wouldn't take much for the creator of the earth to shake things a little bit and reveal the truth. And then we have another opportunity to accept the truth. And so if my assurance has been in my security, and I want to define that, we all have our security in our health and in our finances. We feel very insecure when we start losing those. That's normal. But our assurance should be in our hope of salvation. But if we have transferred our assurance into the things that are tangible, and those things are shaken and possibly even taken away, guess what? We have another opportunity to put our trust in God. And so when we think of this event that we're in as a nation, this crisis, John Maxwell says a crisis brings clarity, and a clarity brings conviction. Or we could say the storm that we're in is revealing the truth, and what it appears like to those of us who are thinking about it. It appears like there is an oppressive spirit that is posing as a liberator. And if people fall for that, it's going to be very, very difficult. We're going to face a lot of changes that we don't want to face as a country. Our freedoms will be taken away. We'll become dependent on the government. And then where do you find your hope? But we have the choice that we can put our hope in God, because we know that ultimately the victory was won at Calvary. We know that ultimately Jesus will win. And as we put our hand in his hand, that there will be a way for us. And so we can have a loss-oriented mindset, and we can say, oh my, what am I going to lose? You know, I'm going to lose everything. Or we can have a gain-oriented mindset, and we can say, you know, we're going to gain some clarity through this. We're going to gain some realization of what's really been happening behind the scenes, things that we didn't really know before. We maybe suspected, but we didn't know. And so when that happens, when we gain that clarity, it gives us conviction, or it helps us to find our purpose. And so what is our purpose? Well, you know, for those of us who are believers, we're preparing to go to heaven. And so that should be our number one purpose. And if I'm ready, if I feel that calmness, that peace, the grace and peace of Jesus Christ in my heart, then my purpose is to help other people, to build them up. Now we know that there have been a lot of protests, and there has been some terrorists, and those things are not of God. Those people are not performing those acts in the name of the Lord, and they're not interested in promoting a good outcome. They're interested in being a terrorist. The cause that they've espoused to, that's just an excuse to create terror, and that's not of Christ. And we also know that the only thing that it takes for evil to reign is for good men to remain silent. Now is our time to speak. May God bless you.